In this part, we're going to be creating the the text animation with filters, as well as the motion guide animation. So with this text item, we're going to create a very simple text animation to begin with that I want to show you some problems with and how to fix it. Let's click on the Type tool. I'm going to change my color to something that's pretty robust, maybe this red, and I'm going to type in hello. Very simple. It doesn't really need to be anything in particular. Now you can choose a different font if you like. Choosing a font that's pretty bold and pretty strong is going to be an important thing just so we can see it. And I'm going to change my size as well. Now that I have my text item, I'd like to convert this text item into a symbol. So I need to right click and choose Convert to Symbol, and this will be my hello text. And now I'm going to convert it into a symbol again, so this is the text animation. So let's right click, choose Convert to Symbol, and call this text anim. And I usually put anim in all uppercase when I know that it's an animated timeline. That's just me. Now, one of the things that I should have pointed out for a while is that you might have been able to see the basic view of convert to symbol, and I'm not dealing with the 9-slice scaling or anything else right now, so basic view would work just fine because it doesn't matter that we can see the other stuff. Let's click OK, and we now have that text in its own timeline, so I'm going to double click on that symbol and go into the first timeline, which is called text anim, and create my animation here. Now I'm going to create a very simple animation at first to show you one of the problems of animating text. Let's insert a keyframe at frame 30, and I'd like you to scale this up a little bit. So if you can see the transform panel, let's go ahead and just make it like 130% by 130% bigger. So it's just a little bit bigger, not huge. Now let's right click in between the two and create a classic tween. Now if you scrub the timeline, you might see that the words kind of jiggle a little bit. If we watch the animation with Control Enter or Test Movie, you might watch that animation and see how it it moves in unrealistic ways. So one of the things that you find is doing subtle animations with text is not the easiest thing, and it's best that we convert that text actually to outlines or to a shape instead. So let's click on one of the keyframes where that text is, double click on it to go into the original text item. You'll see it says hello text here at the top, and I'm going to convert this text into just shape by right-clicking and choosing Break Apart, or you can use Control B and do it twice. The first time it converts it to individual letters, and the next time it gets it all the way to a shape, and we should be able to see shape in our properties now. Now let's go back to the text animation. If you want to scrub your timeline, you might notice it looks a little bit different, and if we really want to tell if the animation looks different, let's test the movie with Control Enter. And you'll notice that that animation looks much cleaner than it did before. So when you are animating text, it is best that that text be converted to shape instead of live text, because it always works better. Now the last thing that I want to do here while this is animating is add some sort of filter to it. Since filters sometimes cause problems, it's a good idea to save your file now before we apply this filter. Let's go down to the filters, and I'm going to apply a drop shadow to this. My distance will be 0, and I might even close the panel here at the top just to make my properties much larger. That way I can see a little bit more, have a little bit more room for my filters. Now I'm going to make this a little bit larger. I'll make that 10 and the quality set to medium, and you can definitely see that I have some sort of drop shadow around there now. Now you'll notice that that drop shadow animates, and I can even create a new keyframe somewhere in between and change that animation slightly. So it may be at the very end here that we don't want it quite as dark. So we have now a subtle animation using some sort of filter, and of course we could use other filters as well, such as adjust color could be nice. And I'm going to use the adjust color before the other and change the hue just a little bit. See if I can get that hue change. There we go. We'll make it go brighter blue, and maybe I can make the strength of my shadow a little bit stronger now. And you'll see we have a major change in that text. Go ahead and test your movie with Control Enter if you want to take a look at it. And we'll go on to the Classic Tween with a motion guide in the next part. So let's go back to scene 1 now. We're going to go back to the last part here, and we're going to create another new animation. I might use an oval this time. Actually, no, that's right. I do want a rectangle because I'm going to draw a little car. So I'm going to draw just a little rectangle here, maybe zoom up a little bit so I can see it much more precisely. And I might give it a couple little wheels here. Doesn't look perfect, but that's okay. And might change my color here to make it look a little bit more like a car. And let's convert this to a symbol, and in the next tutorial we will finish that animation.